Hi everyone, we're here today in my crafting room. I just came back from a beautiful walk on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. It was gorgeous outside. Went out with my little doggy, I took some pictures, got some fresh air. Still a little tad chilly for me. I like it a little warmer, but I'm not complaining. It's really nice. I hope you guys were able to get out there and get some exercise in because that's important. We all need a little bit of exercise in our life. Some of us need a little more than others. That's just me. I could totally use a little bit more. I'm gonna get to that when summer comes. But today we are going to work on making circles with our crochet. I'm going to teach you how to make the magic loop or magic ring, some people call it. It's the one that you make it and then you pull it and it completely closes it up. Okay, so today I'm going to teach you how to make circles. We're going to work on a magic ring. We're going to work on just making the chain circles. Once we do those chain circles and the magic ring, and we start learning how to make the full circle, I'm going to teach you how to make a granny square. Because I love granny squares. You can make so many things with granny squares. You can make blankets, you can make hats, you can make shoes, you can make wall decorations, you can make all kinds of things with granny squares. All squares, different sizes, put together in different ways. It's fantastic. I love the granny square. So I want to share that with you. So if you're ready, I'm ready, let's get started.
All right. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you one of the first ways to make a ring. One of the first ways is by doing chain stitch. Usually, let's see, you can do however many chains you want, but basically you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chains. Let's do 6, just so you can see it a little better. There are 6 chains without twisting it in any way, but holding it straight. And the way I do it, I usually like to just run my fingers across it, no matter how long it is. Sometimes I have like 200 chains. Just rub your finger across every chain, and then when you get to the end and it's nice and straight, you're going to put your hook into the first chain like that. Okay, and then you're going to use not the short yarn, but the feeding yarn, and you're going to grab that. So you're going to chain over and grab the yarn and pull it through both loops, and that would be your circle that you would work into. So that would be the circle. So you would work your stitches in there. So if you would have to do single crochet stitches, you would chain 1, go into the little hole, and what I like to do is, while I am working on it, I hide this one by holding it and going through it. So go into the hole, pull the yarn through, and as you can see, the one that I just did, well, I don't know if you can see it, but I pinched it. As I'm working, I'm pinching it under. Go under, pull it up, go through both loops. Go under, pull it up, go through both loops. Go into it, pull up both loops, pull it up, and both loops. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets made. Oops, sorry. That would be 7, 8, So I've made 10 and pretty much reached the end here. And most of them usually call, I mean, you have to see what they call for when you're working on a pattern. Most of them, from what I've noticed, usually call for 6 to 8 single crochets in the chain stitches. So then once you get to the end, you go to the first one that you worked, which is this one here, and you will go under both of these loops on top, grab your yarn, pull through one and pull through that one, and that leaves it closed. So it's closed like this. Okay? Then you would continue working in the round, which if I were to make double crochets, I would chain 1, 2, 3. Now, in order to make the chains, okay, so now we want to go to the second row of this circle. So you're going to be working on in these stitches. Now, in order to make it bigger, what you're going to do is you're going to work, instead of 1 single crochet, you're going to work 2 single crochets into each one of these chains. So here's what you do. You chain 1, you go just like you were doing when you were working straight across back and forth, but now it's just going around in a circle. So the first one that you do, which is the one right there, right next to it, that one, you go in, you pull up, and you go through. That's 1 single crochet. Now you're going to work the next single crochet exactly in that same hole right there, in the same chain. Now you have 2 single crochets in that one chain. You go to the next chain, which is that one, and you're going to do the same thing. So 2 single crochets in that chain, 1 and 2, and next one, 1 and 2, and next one, 1, 2, and you go all the way to the end that way. So if there were 10 in the first row that we did, then the second row will have 20. Okay, so almost to the end. 1, 2, it's off a little more yarn. 1 and 2. That should be the last one. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's 20. Okay, so now you will go into the first chain that you worked in here. This is the first one. You're going to go in there, pull your yarn through, pull your yarn through. It's like, that's called a slip stitch. And that's your second row. Okay, now to work on the third row, and if you want to make it, this is the first row, second row. The third row, in order to make that bigger, you will chain 1. You will do 1 single crochet in the first single crochet, 1 single crochet in the first, and then 2 in the next. Okay, and then 1, and then 2 in the next, and that's the pattern. So you're going to do 1 single crochet in 1, and in the next chain you do 2 single crochets again. In the next one you do 1, and in the next one you do 2. and then you do that all the way to the end. Okay, so I got to the end of this row, and I'm going to do the same thing. Go to the first chain, slip stitch it through, pull it, pull it, and now I've closed my circle. That's the third row. First, second, third row. Now in the fourth row, you will chain one, you do one single crochet in the next, and another single crochet in the next, and then 2 single crochets in the next. So the pattern for this one is 1 1 2 1 1 2. So on the first row you did 10 single crochets, and the second row then you did 2 in each. Then the third row you did 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2, and in this row you do 1 1 and then 2, 1 1 and then 2. So if you're following along, that's the pattern. So then what would the next row be? On the next row it would be 1 1 1 2, 1 1 1 2, and then you work that all around to the end, and then the next row you just add another extra one before you add the 2, and that's how you end up making it bigger and bigger and bigger. Then once you've got that as big as you want, and you have a nice big circle. So this is, as you can see, this has a nice big old opening in the center. Nobody really wants a hat with a big old opening in the center like that, unless you're going to have a big old pom-pom to cover that. So let me show you how I do the magic ring. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now we're going to make our magic circle or our magic ring. In order to do that, you're going to take your yarn, you're going to wrap it around these 2 fingers and hold it there, just like that. It's wrapped, you pinch it, you hold it. You take your hook, you put it under, pull your yarn up through there. You come up and you hold it, like that, and you pull through. Okay, there you go. Now it's kind of pinched together. And now you're going to go through, pull the yarn up, pull it through both loops. That's 1 single crochet. Go down, pull it up, pull through both. That's 2 single crochets. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. And that's 6. Pardon me, I'm using this hook because I figured maybe you could see it better. I was kind of working red on red, and it was kind of hard, a little bit harder to see the difference or the contrast between the hook and the yarn. So I said, well, let me try it with this bamboo one, which is a little bigger, and I'm not as used to working with them, but it does show the difference a little better. All right, so now we have 6 single crochets, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Here's where the magic happens. You will now grab your leftover yarn, not the working yarn, this is the working yarn, but the leftover one, and you will pull on it, and that close it up a little bit. Okay. Now you can use your hook, don't worry about it, we can still close it up more. Find your first chain that you worked on, which is this one here. You're going to put your hook through there. You are going to grab your yarn, pull it through and through your beginning loop, and now you can go ahead and pull that even tighter. And as you can see, give yourself some yarn there. And as you can see, your circle is now complete. Good. And that's how you do the magic ring or the magic loop or the magic circle or whatever, whoever names it, whoever calls it, whatever out there. It's got several names. Okay, now let's work on a granny square. A simple, basic, one solid color granny square to start with. Alright. I am going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 5, and I will close my circle by going back to the first chain, going through it and pulling my yarn through both. That closes my little circle. Okay? Now, I am going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, because I am going to work half double crochets. Okay? So that's 3. And now I am going to do my half double crochets into this hole. I have 3 that represents 1 double crochet. Not half double crochets. Did I say half double crochets? I meant double crochets. So that's 3, and I will do another double crochet, yarn over, pull through both loops. That's 2, yarn over, pull through these 2 and these 2. Now I have 3 double crochets. Okay, chain 2, 1, 2, 2 chains. I'm going to work right back inside of the circle. I will do 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, working back again, do 2 more chains, and again 3 more double crochets into the circle. 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets. Okay, 2 more chains, 1, 2, and the last 3 double crochets into the circle. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2 more chains, 1, 2. Now I will go to the first 3 chains that I made and count up 1, 2, 3. In the third chain I will slip my hook in, pull the yarn through and through that loop. That closes up my square. This, you can pull it. Actually, to get it out of the way, I'm just going to snip it because I hate when it keeps getting in my way. Alright. And there is my first square. Alright. Now we're going to go to the next row. In the next row, we are going to work into these corners. Now, how am I going to get all the way over here? I know some people actually flip their work. And if I remember well, when I first was learning to crochet, that's what we did. We flipped it and we went right back into this one. And then you just keep flipping your work. But then your stitches don't really look the same because your stitches look different on one side than they do on the other. And you want them all to look nice and parallel and even. So here's what I do. So you are going to slip into these. You're not going to do a single crochet, you're just going to do a slip stitch. So you go into the top of this double crochet, right on over these, take some yarn, pull it through, and pull it through the loop, okay? And then you go to the next two, put your yarn through, and just pull it through. So you did 2 slip stitches. Then you go into the opening, pull your yarn through, slip stitch it. So now I am in the opening. You can't even really tell the difference of what you did there, see? So now you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to do 2 more double crochets in that space, okay? Now we want to make another corner there, so we're going to chain 2, and in that same space right there, we're going to do 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3 inside of that corner. All right? Now, I know some people like to chain 1 or 2 in between here, but I usually don't. So now we're going to skip this whole section and we're going to go right back, right to work into this corner. We're going to do 3 double crochets. Basically, we're going to repeat this in every single corner. So in here, we're going to go do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, okay? And now chain 2 to make the corner, 1, 2, and again 3 double crochets in that corner. 1, 2, 3. So now we have 2 corners done. Okay? Now do the same thing in this corner and in this corner. Remember, don't do anything in between them unless you choose to, but I don't usually like to do anything in there. Go right back in there and do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2 for the corner, oops, and 3 more double crochets right in the space. 1, 2, oops, and 3. And I need to give myself more yarn. Okay. And now we just need to go to that last one here. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Chain 2 to make the corner. 1, 2. 3 double crochets in the same space. 1, 2, 3. So you have your 4 corners made. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you just need to connect it to this one. So you're going to go to the first 3 chains and count up 1, 2, 3. Go to the top of the 3rd chain, slip it through. Just like that. And those are 2 rows of your square, of your granny square. Now, I will do 1 more row just so that you could see how it goes, because then that's the only thing that's really going to change after that. Everything is pretty much repeated until whatever size granny square you want. So, again, in order to get to this corner, I slip stitch the first 2 double crochets. So I slip stitch here, slip stitch in here. Oh, Kitty wants to come in. And I slip stitch into the opening. And then I chain 3. 1, 2, 3. What's Kitty? Chain 3. 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay. chain 2 to make the corner. I really need to give myself some more yarn. One, two, and three. Okay, that made that corner. Of course my yarn is going to tangle now. Why wouldn't it? Just give me a minute. Okay, I've untangled my yarn a little bit. Sometimes it's easy pulling it from the center and it's a breeze, and sometimes it's a nightmare. Okay, it was a little bit of a nightmare. Alright, so we did that corner. Now we need to go into the space here. And in that space there, sort of the same way it was as it was down here, you're just going to do 3 double crochets. So nothing in between, just in that space, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that gets us to this corner. We'll do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2 to make the corner. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. And that gives you 2 corners. And now you will do the same thing here. In the space between the two, you will do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Again, that brings you to the corner. 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 more double crochets in the same space. 2, 3. That gives us 1, 2, 3 corners. Again, we're almost to the end. 3 double crochets in the space between them. 1, 2, 3. And now we're at the last corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the 4th corner. The last in between space. 1, 2, and 3. And now we go to the beginning again, count up 3, 1, 2, 3. On the top of the chain 3 space, you're going to slip stitch it and join it. And there's your square. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Like that. And you can continue to make it bigger. You can make a nice big blanket, little comforter, whatever you want. As long as you want to make it, you can change colors. You can find YouTube videos that teach you how to change colors. Sorry, I will probably do that later on. But for now, this is a basic granny square because there are many pretty intricate granny square designs, but this is just a basic one. So if you were to work the next row, you would do the same thing. The corners would have the 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets to make this corner, like that. And then in here you would have 3 double crochets, and then 3 double crochets here. And then in the corner again you would have the 3 chain 2, 3 to make the corner, and then the same thing, 3, 3, and then the 3 chain 2, 3, 3 and 3, and that would just make it bigger and bigger and bigger as you go along. And that's it. That's a granny square. If you have any questions, you can ask me below. But it's pretty basic. It does look pretty when you have different colors in the center, and then a different color in the next row, and whatever. Or maybe just like yellow in the center and then white all around, because it makes it look like there's a daisy. So they're really pretty. Alright, I hope you enjoyed our little tutorial for today, and I hope you liked it. And any comments would be greatly appreciated below. Thanks for watching, and continue to practice. Don't give up. And come back. Subscribe below. Give me a like. And all that good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I know I will. I still have some crocheting to do, but I definitely will. Right now I'm just going to go watch a movie and drink some hot cocoa. Alright. Love you guys.